What happened?
Sorry, you know how to share the screen this one in WebEx?
So just go on the bottom. You should have your share button right there.
Yes, I'm clicking on it. It's asking for open system preference.
Yeah, just click on my desktop on the left side.
It's still asking the same thing.
You have to click on, when you click share, a dialog box comes up. You've got to select the window that you want to share.
No, it's just asking for open system preference. And there's a small window, security and privacy for Apple. Ask for like allow the app to record the content. So I select that.
Click allow.
Oh yeah, allow. I click allow. Nothing else happening. Yeah, this is the office computer, I think. I'm using that one.
Oh, you're logging on you to the office machine.
Yeah, it's fast. So,
1 second. I'm almost in. Okay, I just 1 minute away. Should be. No, my machine doesn't have WebEx. Hold on. Still not able to figure it out, huh?
no, so it's like a setting they have blocked us in privacy. So there's a lock button. I can't unlock it because it's admin access is required.
Okay. So you don't have any, you don't have a personal machine. You only got your work machine, huh?
I have a personal laptop, but just slow, so I just use this one.
Okay, no problem. Just give me 1 second. Who else had submitted their homework assignment besides was there? Was there submitted it? Sugam submitted it. Okay. Sugam is not here. Okay. Guys, you got to get the homework assignments in.
I wasn't in class for the past 2 weeks. Is it okay if I review it and submit it this week?
Sure, get it in whenever you can, but get it in.
Yes, sir. I am able to share the screen now.
You're able to share the screen now.
Yes, sir. Just a second.
I'm almost there. 92% downloaded. There you go. All right, I can see the screen.
Sorry, it just doesn't have the Excel in it.
That doesn't have the Excel in it. Just,
Yes,
just click on it. It'll bring it up in the browser itself.
yes, sir. I'm just opening it right now.
Yep. Maximize it. All right. So
Can
what
clear
did
it.
you? Yep, I can see it. Go ahead.
Okay, these are the.
All right. Let's start with one story, whichever one. What did you do it on? Netflix.
Yes, sir.
So what's the first story?
So, as a user of Netflix, I would like to stream movie or TV series on app at my home or at any other place, so I don't have to rent DVD or go to cinema.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a new requirement. It's open. It's medium. In development phase. Developer name is Sam. Project owner is Mike. BA is Uzair. Start date is this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the start date. This is the project thing. It's open.
One day, you're gonna build that whole streaming function in one day. Oh
One day.
Lord.
No, no, not one day.
Oh, last updated date. Sorry.
It's created date. Sorry, it's
Created
created
date
date
and updated
and
date.
updated date. Yeah.
Okay.
So where that is stream movies, the main categories,
Okay.
and the date, completion date is 2 weeks.
Okay.
So 80 hours, in
Okay.
which 64 hours remaining, 16 hours has been worked, and it is in development phase. So there are some three questions that I've developed from the user. What type of content user would like to stream? It's just the main question, like film, TV series, documentaries. So what time user would like to stream, like 24/7 availability? What will be the quality of content? Should be like HD 180p. So the workflow will be like a user open the Netflix app,
Mm-hmm.
user enter the email address or password or phone number, user enter password, system validate the username, user and password, system display screen number one, who's watching Netflix, select profile.
Okay.
User select the profile, system will take to screen number two, home screen page, the home page. User can browse the film, TV series, documentaries. User can select any movies, uh, uh, TV series to stream it. System will display the screen number three to show the preview page of the movie with movie or TV series details. User will select the option to play. System will go to screen number 4 to display the movie in landscape. User can watch the complete movie or pause or go back to home screen. Once the movie is completed, system will show the trailer for other movies. User can watch the other movies or go back to home screen to watch other movies.
Okay, good.
So this is the
All
function
right.
for one is percentage is written over here depending upon like uh, progress divided by days. Like 80 days was there and 16 hours we have worked on that, so it's 20% completed. And this is active still, and it is 40 points I've given to this one.
40 points. What formula did you use?
I've used the same formula. The 1 point equals to 2 hours.
Okay, I increased that. That's really small. So should do it
Uh,
like 1 point is equal to like 4 hours or 8 hours. Typically, that's what it is. That was just done for easy math.
yeah, I just used the simple. I was trying to make it as simple as I can, then make the changes.
Okay.
So, go to the next point.
Yeah, let's look at one more.
As a user of Netflix, I would like to watch movie, watch watch Netflix on more than one device. So my family can watch Netflix simultaneously in different mobile apps.
Okay.
So it's a new requirement. It's open. It's in medium. It's in development. Developer name is Tom. PO is Steve. BA is there. The creation date is this one. Start date is this. This is also a stream movie. Uh, So the requirement is like how many screen required. So there's 4 screens required. So workflow will be like a user open the Netflix app, user enter the email address and phone number, user enter password, system
No,
will
but
validate.
hold on. So user opened Netflix, user entered the email address or password,
Yeah,
user
or
enters
phone
the
number.
password. Okay, so you've got him. Why are you writing him in 2 lines? That's got me a little confused. Okay, anyhow, keep going.
No,
System.
sorry, this is the second point is email address or phone number.
Okay.
And the third point is like a user can enter password as well.
Are these two
So,
separate screens?
no, same screen.
Okay.
So system will validate the user and password.
Okay.
System will display to a screen, same screen who's watching. There are different buttons on select profile, add profile button, and manage profile button. Like 3 different options will be showing over there. You can select the same profile, you can add a new profile, or you can manage the profile. System select the add and profile button. System will display to screen 1.1 to enter the details.
Okay. So
User,
this. Okay. So here, the user story and the function are two different things. The
yes, sir.
the user story, you said that I would like to watch multiple screens. You
Yes,
understand?
yes, sir.
You what you're telling about is you're talking about creating multiple profiles.
Yeah,
That's not meaning multiple screens because in multiple screens, Netflix is actually going to validate how many users belonging to the same account are logged in at the same time. You
okay,
understand?
okay,
This one story that you're walking me through is for creating a profile. It's not for validating how many users are logged in at the same time.
okay.
You understand the difference between the two?
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
Until unless you've got somewhere where the system is validating the number of users logged in on the same account.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to like creating 4 profiles, then they can watch the movies because in Netflix and the basic
No,
account
you
is,
can be logged in with the same profile. There's
yeah,
no restriction.
yeah, but simultaneously they can't watch it. Uh,
Yeah, they can. Netflix
okay,
doesn't count how many profiles there are. You
okay,
can have 10 profiles. It measures how many people are actively streaming. You understand?
Okay.
It only blocks you when you go to stream it. You understand? It doesn't block you from logging in. 10 people
Okay.
can be logged into Netflix at the same time, but 10 people cannot stream at the same time.
Okay. Or maybe so
Your
it's
account, your
yeah.
account is where the actual number of streams is. Like, for example, on my account, I am allowed up to 3 streams for Netflix. So if
Okay.
the kids are watching two separate movies downstairs, upstairs, I'm logged in. So that's 3 people streaming. The fourth person that is trying to stream, right?
Yes.
They will get a message saying that, there are too many people streaming, and it'll not only give me that message, it'll tell me who they are and what device they're logged in with.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, correct. Yeah, maybe I should change the question like how to create the profile.
Yeah, yeah. So because see, by creating a profile, basically it is a sub account. You
Yes.
understand?
Yes,
And
sir.
then you can have your own favorites attached to it. You can have your own movies that you've watched. You can see your history. You can do a lot of other things that are associated to that profile, right?
Yes, correct.
The
Yeah.
account is still one,
Yes.
right? These are profiles underneath the account. And
Okay.
each profile will have its own history, its own favorites, its own watch list, right?
Yes, correct.
And that is associated to each profile. And you can have 10 profiles, and all 10 can be logged into Netflix at the same time. The only check for streaming happens when you actually go to stream. So even on the top story, when you said, you click on the movie and the thing streams, there should be actually a validation happening there.
Oh,
Before it allows the stream to kick in, Netflix actually checks how many streams are live, how many active streams are there under this account.
okay.
And if the number of active streams are below the allowed active streams, you don't even get that message, right?
Yes,
But
correct.
if it is above, that's where you get the message saying that we are unable to stream it right now because there are already 2 active streams going on for this and this account or this and this profile. You understand?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Because you could share your Netflix with 10 people, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But 10 people can't stream at the same time.
Yeah.
I think my account only allows 2 streams, not even 3.
Yeah. I
It's a
have got
basic
four
one.
screens. Yeah, the basic one. I have four screens, so
Yeah, you're paying, how much are you paying for your account?
I think 19.
Yeah, I have the 14 one now. All right. Okay, but I mean, otherwise it's good. Class, any comments? Any comments from Mr. Ozair? Any suggestions? Sayyid, Salman, Shiba, Manoj. No comments? Everybody like what Ozair done?
I
Good.
think there are some tasks like I've done in 3 point like I have to straight that download the data, put it into subparts over here.
Which one is this? What is the
Uh,
story for this one?
this one is like as a Netflix user, I would like to download movies, your TV series, so I can watch without internet
Oh,
connection.
okay, got it. So this is a download function. All right.
Yes, so download function, this one. So how much data can be stored in Netflix? Just an assumption like 100 GB.
Well, I don't
Where,
think so. It's that, right? Why
yeah,
why are they why are they limiting 100 GB? It depends on your device.
yes, sir. It's showing something different when I search it over there. It's showing 100 something different thing, but I search over there. I can't find the explanation much. So
Yeah, it all depends on how much your device can give you, right?
yes, and where does the file download file show? So it will be separate icon
Yeah,
in the
how to access it basically, right? It's a
yes, correct.
different, you go to the menu, you click on downloads.
Yes, sir.
Also, because remember there are actually two two sides to many of these stories, right? One is as a user of Netflix, right?
Yes, sir.
And the other one as a, you
Netflix
know,
on.
as an owner of, or as a business user of Netflix app, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
some functions will be coming for the Netflix itself, right? That
Yes,
Netflix wants to restrict the number of active views depending on the account. That is a user story belonging to the Netflix business owner.
yes, sir.
All right. Business owner means he's an internal user of Netflix, right?
Yes.
And, you know, also this one, not all movies are downloadable, right?
Mm.
Some are
Yeah.
downloadable, some are not downloadable. So this one you could write that one from both sides. As a user of Netflix, I would like to see which movies I can download later so that I can see, right? So there can be a story about, you know, how do I determine which movies are downloadable versus not, right?
Yes, correct.
And then there's another story to download it, right?
Yes.
There can be two separate stories. One to know if it is downloadable versus another one to allow to know, right? The down arrow will be displayed next to the details or somewhere when I'm seeing the details page of the movie, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, it's showing this one here.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Good. No, no, it's good. Good details. Well written. Good. You spent time thinking about it, there, so that's good.
Yeah, thank
How
you.
did you find the experience?
Yeah, it's good because I used more lot of time, so lots of the stories I know, but in detail, I never saw these functions like in detail. Like, okay, this is the button actually. The icons look like this, and here's more detail over there, and so these are some more description that I never seen. I mean, I see it every day, but never
By the
focusing
way,
on that.
there are the stories can also be divided as a user of Netflix mobile app versus as a user of Netflix web browser.
Web browser. This is for yes, for mobile app only.
These are for mobile app, yeah. But
Yes,
so remember the user interface is different on both.
yes, sir, correct. Yes,
So you'll have to write, and there are two separate applications, right?
yes,
One is
correct.
the browser launching, other is the mobile app, right? A mobile app can also have like a a iPad version versus an Android version, right?
Yes, correct.
So the user interface may be different on those two also. And they're definitely two separate applications, right?
Yes, correct.
iOS version of Android
And Apple.
and the Android
Yes,
version, right? They're two separate applications
yes,
and
correct.
two separate type of developers, right? So the story can be for both applications, but will have to be written separately,
Oh, yes.
right? Any questions? All right. So I'm back up. I will start sharing my screen now. We can go back to,
Stop sharing.
yeah, I got it. Don't worry. All right. This is my daughter's computer. Her screen is really big. Me back out. Testing.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
No, it was like it threw me back out. All right. Okay. So yesterday we started talking about use cases, right? And we talked about business analysis. Any questions? We talked about finding the business event. We went ahead and we detailed how do we come up with the use cases, how do we put together the use case diagrams, right? How we break the bigger business event, which was placing an order, into sub events, right? We talked about a scenario is nothing but a series of steps that are needed to be carried out for accomplishing an activity. The steps in the use case, this will help you in evaluating the entire functional requirements. The level of detail reduces the number of steps in each use case. This is to avoid any kind of ambiguity or confusion. The requirements, have to be verified by the business people. That's why even the FRD gets signed off by the business stakeholders, right? Both BRDs and FRDs get signed off by business head as well as technology head. Of course, the designers, the systems analysts, these folks will add the technical requirements later, right? What's the document for the technical requirements? Where would I find the technical requirements? Come on, guys.
So it is in the test. Sorry,
No, not test.
it's a design
Technical,
phase. Design phase.
technical design document,
Yeah,
TDD.
TD.
Guys, don't forget that name.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
I said the same exact thing yesterday also.
Yes, technical design document. Yeah.
And of course, check out for any kind of ambiguity, right? Make sure absolutely clear on your requirements. All right. Here's another diagram. This is called a tree structure diagram, right? In a tree structure diagram, basically what we do is we try to start off identifying the business, then we identify the business events, then identify all the different use cases, then the associated scenarios and steps for that particular use case, right? So let's quickly just think about this and let's practice this a little bit. So let's say the big business, the top oval here is a bank, right? What are the two primary functions of any bank? What are the two primary events, business events that a bank does? The bank will either,
Deposit or land machine and
yeah,
payment.
will either give money out or takes money, right?
Yes.
So debits and credits, right? In accounting terms, right? Bank is all about debits and credits, correct? In other words, in our layman's terms, we are either depositing money or we are withdrawing money from a bank, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Anybody awake besides Ozair today? Hmm. So this is a one-on-one class with Ozair and me, huh?
No, I'm here too.
Acha, thank you, Manoj. Anybody else? I've got like 6 people in this class. Where's the rest of the 5? Wake up.
I'm here as well.
Thank you, Sayed. Oh no, that was Salman.
Yeah.
All right, Salman. Sheba, Sayed. Planning on joining this morning? See, Sayed is even off mute, but he's not saying anything.
Sorry, I'm actually here.
Yeah. Was that I'm here as in mentally or physically?
No, there's 2 mutes. So I forgot
There's
I
two
had
mutes.
yeah, I forgot I had I was like, yeah, here, and I thought you heard me.
I would have said something if I would have heard you, man. All right. So let's so the second line ovals would be a deposit and a withdrawal, right? What do we like to do better? Do we like to deposit money or do we like to withdraw money more from a bank? Are we a saver or are we a spender? Oh my lord, come on, guys.
Both cases can be like worked on.
Yeah, but I want to focus on one. I can't focus on both.
Okay, withdraw.
You should be a saver, Mr. Withdraw.
Yeah.
Depositing. Let's practice depositing. Okay, so let's say the second level oval, business event is depositing, and the one on the right side oval will be withdrawing, right? So when you look at deposits, how many different ways of deposits can you do? You can either be depositing a
Branch ATM.
no. That is the vehicle. I'm talking about you are depositing what?
The cash
You can deposit cash, or you can deposit,
check.
or the third type of deposit could be a what's another form of deposit? Cash, check, and guys, use your analysis here. Manoj, what's the third type of deposits?
Transfer,
What do you mean by transfer?
like transfer from one account to another account.
What so how are you depositing in this method? Are you depositing via check? Are you depositing via cash? What kind of deposit is this? Come on,
Electronic,
guys.
electronic.
Electronic. Correct. My God, it was so hard to get you to say electronic. Yes, it's an electronic deposit, right? You may
Yes.
be depositing cash, you may be depositing checks, or you might be performing a electronic deposit. Everybody agree? All right. Shiva, I'm going to start asking names since you guys are like, Shiva doesn't want to come off of mute, period. Shiva? Shiva going once, Shiva going twice. Shiva gone. Okay. Salman.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we are depositing cash. Let's start with that first oval. So the first oval on the third level is depositing cash. The second one is depositing checks, and the third one, the third one will be depositing.
Through by electronic.
Yes, electronic deposit. So let's go to the first use case here, which is depositing cash. How? So give me the name of the use case. You would be depositing cash via
By ATM.
correct. Why are you taking so long? You don't know how to deposit cash in your bank? Of
Mm.
course, depositing cash via an ATM. That's one use case. Sayyid, another use case under the same category. Depositing cash via. By the way, Salman, what use case ID is that? You see?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah. Which ID? You see what? What are you gonna call that? What's the use case ID?
C1.
You see one. Sure. You guys make him like I'm throwing trick questions at you guys. You see one. Sayyid, give me UC2 under the same category. Double mute.
Double mute. Uh,
Depositing cash via.
you said electronic? Oh, we did that.
How are you depositing cash electronically? Okay,
Oh,
after you're
depositing
taking the
cash.
pictures of that cash, just mail me the cash, okay? What are
um,
you talking about, Sayyid, this morning? How
mm,
else can you deposit cash besides the ATM?
the teller?
Teller, correct. Walking into the branch, right?
Sorry, I forgot tellers existed for a second.
Oh, Lord. I'm scared now. All right, so that was UC. Which one?
Two.
UC2. All right. Manoj, give me UC3. Same category.
Mm. Actually, I forgot the name. Like you go to the bank and left over there.
You go to the bank and do what?
And just leave it
There
on the
is
floor.
a I forgot the name actually.
What are you doing? Describe what you do.
We go over there and like behind the ATM there is a one like counter. We put the money and sleep in there, and the morning time the teller put in our
Drive
account.
through.
Drive through.
All right. You can deposit the money through a drive-through functionality, right? If the bank provides a drive-through, you can deposit money through a drive-through also, right? You don't need to walk into the branch. Agreed?
Yes.
Which use case number?
You see three.
Use case 3. And Ozair, wrap us up with use case number 4. There's a fourth method also for depositing. What are we depositing?
Cash.
Cash. UC4.
Was safety
What is
deposit?
safety deposit? What do you mean by safety deposit? This sounds like you're walking into the branch, going into your safety deposit box. It's
Uh,
not called a safety deposit box. It's called a drop box.
Dropbox. Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
you're right. Safety deposit box, is something else.
Yes. Dropbox. So Dropbox is right next to the ATM, right?
Is
Why
the
do we?
is the
Why do
safety
we?
deposit that's the monthly thing? That's the one
No,
they
safety deposit is safety deposit box is like inside
jewelry?
yes, vault. It's
Got
inside
it,
the
got it.
vault,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? You go into the branch, and your wife, when she accumulates enough gold, she's going to be putting it in there.
Wow.
Or when you have your special documents like your deed of the house or anything like that, right? That
So
goes into the safety box.
the um the Dropbox,
Yeah.
how how can you detail that? Like what user pulls the shoot?
Yeah. So user will be having a key to the deposit box.
Right,
All right. And when the user comes in, the user will open the deposit box. He will insert the deposit using, one of those blue pouches that the bank gives him, right?
right.
And then he'll need to have a filled out receipt for his deposits. He can be depositing cash as well as checks through that. The purpose of that is basically for folks that can't make it to the bank during banking hours, right? But have to deposit the cash on a nightly basis. Like, say, if you run like a 7-Eleven or something like that, right? That lottery money, the cash that you pick up on the lottery, you need to deposit that daily, right? And it's a lot of money in some cases, right? You're going to be depositing like $5,000, right? $10,000. You don't want to be standing in an ATM trying to insert $1,000 into the ATM, right?
In singles.
In singles, yeah. you know. So that's the facility that they give. That you can come in the night. It's like a mailbox literally, but it has a key. So you open it, pull the mailbox looking handle out, drop that in here. The next morning, the teller comes in and she actually physically deposits it. You understand? That's why when the teller is going through the morning deposits, there are typically two tellers there. There's basically a checks and balance mechanism. Understood? All right. So those were the 4 use cases for depositing cash. The second oval is depositing
Check payment.
checks, not payment,
Check.
checks, right? And what would UC 5 be? What's the name of UC 5? Who's up? Was it Salman? Salman is up. Salman, UC 5.
Still depositing cash.
No, we're done depositing cash. What are we talking about now? What are we depositing, class?
Check.
Checks. Come on. Salman, stay with the program.
Mm,
Are you depositing your checks?
um, via ATM.
Yeah, your first four use cases are the same. 5, 6, 7, 8 are all the same,
Mm-hmm.
right? What's use case 5? Depositing checks via
ATM.
ATM. What is use case 6?
Via phone.
A branch.
Oh, repeat the first four that you did for cash. You can do this for checks also, right?
Branch and teller.
Depositing cash. Oh, depositing check via teller.
Right. What is use case 7? 5, 6, 7, 7.
Drive
ATM.
through.
Drive through.
Drive to.
Depositing, say the whole thing. Depositing
Via drive through.
depositing the drive-through.
Checks. Check.
Depositing checks via the drive-through. And use case 8 is guys are not writing this down. That's why you're all quiet.
Deposit box.
What deposit box? What do you want?
Check.
Eat it?
Check payment. Check.
No,
Oh,
deposit.
Lord.
Deposit through. Deposit.
Deposit.
Depositing what?
Deposit
Check.
check through.
Depositing check via the
Deposit box.
drop box, not deposit box. Drop box, drop. And this one has a ninth. What's the ninth?
Mobile.
App.
Mobile app.
Are full sentence.
Check
Oh,
deposit
Lord.
via. Check deposit via mobile app.
Depositing a check via the mobile app, right? Have some common way of saying these things, right? So how many use cases did you get so far?
9.
9, right? All right. Moving on to the last scenarios. Electronic deposits. You already gave me one. What was the one that you gave me? Depositing.
From app.
What do you mean from app?
Check from mobile app.
It's electronic deposit. It's not a
Deposit.
check anymore. You'd already did mobile app check. Which one was the mobile app check? What was use case number on that?
9.
9.
9. We're moving on ahead to 10 now. 10 is for electronic deposits.
Yes.
So depositing funds electronically via.
Mobile app.
Okay, what do you mean by mobile app?
By log into your mobile app account and transferring fund.
Okay, utilizing your mobile app to complete a
Transfer.
fund transfer. Okay, good. What's another one?
Same function using the web browser or
What
computer.
same function? Say it in a sentence.
Electronic transfer fund via using.
Depositing funds electronically, right?
Depositing fund electronically via computer.
Okay, desktop.
Desktop.
Okay, so web application.
From web application. Sorry, yes, that's the correct
Okay.
word.
All right, gotcha. What else? There's tons of them. Manoj, give me another example. Salman, Sayed. There's so many you use every day. You guys can't believe you can't remember them. Ever heard of an application called Zelle?
Zelle, yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Ever heard of MoneyGram?
How do we determine what's considered a deposit and what's considered a transfer? Because
Transfer is a deposit.
oh, okay, that I think that's why I was confused.
When you complete the transfer, what have you deposited into your account? Money, right?
Right.
And a transfer can also be for the withdrawal use cases too. Right?
Right.
If you simply account A and account B, right?
Yeah.
Account A is having the withdrawal, account B is having the deposit. Yep. What else? PayPal, right? Cash App, Venmo. You guys ever heard of these applications before?
Yes.
It's the last one I haven't heard.
One, Venmo.
Yeah,
It's a pretty popular one.
I never use it.
I heard of Apple Pay,
Yeah,
Samsung Pay,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Google Pay.
Google Pay.
But
I don't use Google Pay, but yeah,
but
there you
those
can depot.
aren't those just considered methods of payment?
Yes, because all of them are bringing in what? Electronic deposits into your account, right? So if there's any special requirements for those, you need to handle it, right? For example, Zelle, you will build that interface into your mobile application, whichever one you're making, right? But for the other ones, you will be interfacing with a exchange, ETF, right? Electronic exchange. Everybody clear? And then for each of these use cases, you have to come up with the actual basic flow, alternative flows, use case name, use case ID, use case description, who are the actors, what are the preconditions, what are the post conditions, basic flow, alternative flow, right? For each of these use cases. Clear? We did those yesterday, right? We did the attributes of a use case yesterday, right? Okay. Any questions on the tree structure? All right.
So is this diagram, what's the diagram called over there?
This one,
Is
tree
yes,
structure.
sir. Is
You're
this a tree
creating a tree
structure?
structure. Yeah.
And it is being used in like an agile system or
No, it can be used in Agile. It can be used in any system. There's no specific system. This is for doing your business analysis, right?
okay.
You are basically doing business analysis, starting with the bigger function, breaking it into smaller pieces, right?
Yes, correct. And when do we need to make this? Before, I mean, like after
It
completing the
helps you.
story?
No, this can be used as part of your storyboarding. This could be one of the boards.
Okay.
But remember, in the boards, you're not going to be developing use cases, right?
Yes, correct.
So there'll be no use cases in boards, right? It's basically taking a bigger function, breaking it into smaller pieces and smaller pieces and smaller pieces, right? That's how we do that. Clear?
Okay. Yes.
Remember, we were talking about analysis. We talked about process analysis, structure analysis. How do we go by doing analysis? This helps us with doing our analysis, right? Everybody clear on that? All right. So let's talk a little bit about context diagram now. So context diagram, also known as a data flow diagram, will show, the scope of the system, right? As well as the system's boundaries, any external entities that are interacting with your system, as well as, the major information, which is AKA your data, which is flowing between these entities, okay? The diagram will show basically the information which is being provided to and from the main domain system, as well as the context diagram will clearly show the interfaces between the system under investigation and the external entities, right? There are 4 names, write these down. So the most common name you may hear is, of course, data flow diagram. Another name is interface diagram, right? Another name is ER, entity relationship, ER diagram, entity relationship diagram, right? And then you may hear content or context diagram. All right. But the most 3 common is, of course, data flow, interface, and entity relationship. Okay. All these diagrams serve the same purpose. The purpose of these diagrams is to show all the different entities that are interacting with your system, as well as to identify the relationship between the different entities and the underlying data which is being shared between them. You understand? Everybody clear?
Yes.
All right. If you put together the context diagram during the scope and vision area, then it's a very high level, right? It's just telling you all the different systems that will be involved in your project. If you did it in the requirement stage, it'll be more detailed, right? If you're doing it in the TDD stage, then it's very detailed. Everybody clear? All right. So here are the steps for putting together a content or a, you know, data flow interface diagram, right? You start off by drawing a process box at the center of the diagram to represent your system, your enterprise. So here you see a box in the middle. This box is representing your system. Or what is the function of your system? To take and schedule the orders, right? That's the major functionality of your application. Or you can simply put the name of the application in the box. Clear? Then we start to develop a list of candidates, external candidates or external entities that will be interfacing with our application. For example, here we have the customer, the warehouse, the transportation management system, and the credit card authorizers are four external entities that are interfacing with our application. You may revise this list as appropriate to keep the diagram simple. Okay? Next, start to identify the different functionalities or data inputs and outputs that are occurring between the enterprise, meaning the our application that we're building, and each of the external entities. For example, the customer, right, will be placing an order, will be making a payment, will be getting receipts, will be getting schedules for the receipts. Correct? These are functions that are occurring between the customer and our system. Everybody agree? Yes?
Sure.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. Then start to draw the external entities in, it says squares, but it's actually rectangles, right? On either side of the center box, meaning your entity. So how many external entities are you seeing here on this diagram?
Four.
Four external, right? But if I ask you how many entities are there on this diagram, you would say how many boxes, guys?
Five.
Five. There are five entities. Four happen to be external because one of them is your application. Agreed?
Yes.
All right. All right. Next, start to draw data flow labels. All right. To describe the primary relationship between the enterprise and each of the external entities. For example, you see two functions occurring here where the customer will be placing an order. So in other words, that information will come from the customer to our system. Agreed? And the other relationship that's labeled here is the customer will be making a payment. Everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
All right. After we have identified the relationship, we can also do data analysis. What is data analysis? Here, we are doing structured analysis, right? We are identifying the different structures and their relationships. Everybody agree? We are doing structured analysis. Yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. So as part of the structured analysis can lead to data analysis. For example, let's talk about the easier of these two functions, which is say making a payment. All right. So I want to identify the underlying data that is coming in from the customer to my system as part of this making a payment. All right. When you do data analysis, you need to make tables in your data analysis. Okay. So why don't you guys draw a table on your book, in your notebook? You know how to draw a table, right? You have rows and you have columns, right? Everybody know how to draw a table?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So the first column, you can put down number. That's the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? That's the first column. Second column, let's call it the data element. What is the second column?
Data element.
Data element. Third column, let's put down data type. Fourth column, actually, yeah, okay, fine. Fourth column, let's put down data length.
You said
Fifth
data
column,
length? Length?
length, Lenghta. Length, data length. How many character length is it? Okay. How many columns you got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth column. Let's put down fifth column, big column, business logic. And let's put down sixth column as mandatory or optional. Everybody got the columns?
Can you just tell me the first one?
Number. One, two, three, four, five, whatever, right? Sorry, I don't have my computer. I would show it to you. I'll show it to you next time when we meet.
Sorry, sir, I missed the last one. What was the last one? Business logic,
Mandatory or optional.
mandatory.
You can just say mandatory and have a yes or a no in that column. Got it? Everybody got the table? Remind me, what are the columns? What's the first column?
Number.
Mm-hmm.
Second is data element,
Correct.
data type,
Uh-huh.
data length,
Uh-huh.
business logic,
Uh-huh.
mandatory.
Mandatory or optional, right? So just say mandatory, you can put a yes or a no in there, right? If it's not mandatory, then it's optional, right? All right. So let's talk about the different types of data. Data can be in a numeric form. If your data type happens to be numeric, right? What are the different types of data that are supported here? Numeric will allow you to insert what?
Numbers only, like
Numbers only, 0 through 9. Got it? If you have an alpha, that allows you to insert what?
Letters.
Say that again.
Letters.
Letters, A through Z. Okay, so you have one data type could be numeric, another one could be alpha. The third data type could be alphanumeric. Alphanumeric data types will allow you to insert
Letters and numbers.
letters and numbers. And then we have
Symbol.
string. String will allow us to insert pretty much everything,
yeah, characters.
right? It'll allow 0 through 9, A through Z, even special characters, right? Apostrophe, pound, add, dollar, all those fun stuff, right? You may also have floats, data type float, FLOAT. Anybody know what float is?
No, sir.
Float allows you to enter decimals. So say if it's a money field, for example, total, right? And total can be in dollars and cents, right? Then you would use a float for that data type, not numeric. You understand? Everybody clear? Then you have Boolean values. Boolean is another data type. Boolean can be a flag, such as yes and no, true or false, 0 or 1. You understand? Those are Boolean values. So how many data types did I tell you?
5.
What are the 5 data types we talked about?
Numeric, alpha, strings, float, boolean.
What happened to alphanumeric?
Alphanumeric first, and second one is.
Huh? I thought the first you said numeric, then alpha.
Yes, sir.
And then what happened to alphanumeric?
Okay, there is another one. Okay, I
So
didn't
it's
write that.
6.
6.
Okay.
Well, there are other ones too, but let's stick with the basic 6. Right? There's a date. And there's some other ones that you can see also. But let's stick with these basic 6. Okay? So coming back to our table, let's start to enter values into the thing. So on the top of the table, put down making a payment. Data table for making a payment. Okay? Put down the header of that table, making a payment, data associated to making a payment. What's the very first data element that you would be getting from the user regarding his making a payment? By the way, how is he making a payment? He's probably making a payment using a...
Electronic transfer
Oh, yaar. How do you make payments online?
or via
Mobile.
card,
Credit card.
credit card, yes.
That's why you have the credit card authorizer on the bottom of the customer. Do you see him?
Yes, sir.
What do you think his purpose is there? To validate the transaction, right?
That's correct, yeah.
But to validate that transaction, first I need the information from the customer, right? I need his credit card details, correct?
Yes.
That's the data we're talking about here. So, what's the first element associated to his credit card? What's the first data element? What do you want to call it?
Payment type,
What do you mean by payment type?
I mean, like, it's a credit card payment.
No. Why do I need that? If he's
It
making
should
a
be
credit
like
card payment,
debit and credit, both options. So,
but that does not matter, debit or credit.
Card number,
No, even before card number.
name,
Before, no. How many times does it ask you to enter your name?
Is it Visa or MasterCard?
Correct.
Data
The
element?
credit card type is the first data element. Got it? The first element that will come in from the customer would be the credit card type. Now, with the newer systems, we actually extract the credit card type from the first 4 digits of the card number that he's entering. You understand? But before that, we used to have like a drop down or a radio button on our UI, right? Where you had to select which credit card you're entering, right? So if you do have that UI, and let's say credit card type is the first data element, what do you think the data value will be for credit card type? Data type will be, huh?
alphanumeric,
Why alphanumeric?
boolean,
Boolean? What? How the hell did
alphabetic,
you go to Boolean?
alphabetic.
Alpha. Alpha. Let's go to the business logic column. How many different credit card types are there?
Discover, American Express, City, Bank
City
of
is a credit
America,
card type. Is City the credit card type or is City the issuer?
Issuer.
Why are you talking about credit card type?
So
Oh Lord. Guys.
Mastercard, Visa card like that.
Yes. Visa, MasterCard. What else?
Amex.
Next.
I think you cut off.
Is what
Yeah,
are the other two credit card types? Oh my God, this is like crazy. Seriously, you don't know what the other two credit card types are besides Visa and Master? That's the only two you've ever heard of.
I don't know if you heard me. I said Amex, but I don't know if that counts.
I only heard an X
Oh,
because of your double mute buttons.
no, no. There was a moment where you cut off. Also, where I couldn't hear
Gotcha.
you. Sorry.
American Express, correct. That's the third type. What's the fourth? There are four types. You guys I feel like you've been living under rocks or something, man. Discover. You never heard of Discover card?
Yes, that's my favorite one.
Is Discover a bank?
No, it's credit card company.
Right? So there are four credit cards. So the business logic would say there are four credit card types: Master, Visa, American Express, and Discover. And let's say for your particular company, you only take Master and Visa. You understand? So in the business logic, it would also say the company only accepts Visa and MasterCard at this time. You understand? So the business logic column would have all of this information. There are four different types of credit cards types: Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. At present, the company is only accepting Visa and MasterCard. All right? You got it? So coming back to our data type, we said the data type will be alpha. Correct? Alphabets. What do you think could be a data length for this particular field? Record type. What data length you want to give it?
Should be like 15.
15. Okay, explain Visa to me in 15. Go ahead.
Just a second. Where is my card? Just looking for my card.
Abhay, you're looking at credit card number. I'm talking about credit card type. Was there
Yes, sir.
two different fields, right? Can credit
So
card number be an alpha?
no, it should be numbers. Yeah. So alpha will be the name of the person.
Abhay, it's not the name of the person. Oh my God, you're killing me. What is the first data element that we are working on, guys? Remind me again.
Credit type.
What is the element name?
Credit type like Visa and Mastercard.
Right. That's the one we are still working on, right? We haven't gone to the second element yet.
Okay.
So what is the data length for this? If I told you the data length was 4, what will be the value for Visa?
Digits.
Manoj, put yourself on mute. There's too many birds. What the hell are you doing? A stroll outside? Manoj,
Sorry, I gotta.
What are you in a bird sanctuary or something?
No, I came in my balcony.
You have
Yeah,
birds in your balcony?
no, a little bit sound outside, like a playing a drums, I guess.
Acha, lovely.
It's like a marriage over here.
Very nice. All right. Look, the first element is credit card type. Data type is alpha. Data length could be four characters. Visa would be VISA. MasterCard could be MSTR. American Express could be AMEX. Discover could be DISC. You got it? These are the possible values because they are four characters alpha. Understood? Guys,
Yes, sir. Got it.
my God, guys, you're like totally out of sync today. All of you. Like I'm getting no proper responses or anything like that. It feels like I should just close the class early today, have you guys go home. Doesn't look like you're in a learning mood today. If I told you the same element, same credit card type, alpha, but only one character length, what would be the value for Visa?
4,
Say that again.
4.
Yaar, is 4 a alpha one character? Lord, this is so difficult. Guys, if I told you the data type is alpha, the data length is one character, what is the value for Visa? V. Do you understand?
Sir.
Okay, got it. Yes.
What is the value for MasterCard?
M
Discover,
D
American Express.
A.
You guys understand what's going on?
Okay.
If I told you it was two characters, what is Visa?
VI
Okay, better would be VS, but fine, VI. I have no problem with that. Discover card.
DI
Wait, doesn't always have to be the first two characters,
DS,
Leo.
DS.
Yes. Yes.
DS for Discover, right? American Express,
AX
AX, right? And what's left? We got everything? We, yeah, we got everything. So that's the first character, first data element. The second data element is typically the credit card number.
Yes, sir.
Credit card number. Second data element. Data type.
Grade type should be numeric.
Numeric. Data length.
For master, it should be 16 digits.
All should be 16 digits. All right. And what is the business logic? Is there any business logic? You can say credit card numbers are 16 digit long, right? The first four digits can signify the credit card type. You got it? By the way, are these both elements mandatory or optional?
Mandatory.
Mandatory. All right. What's another data element?
It should be expiry date.
Expiry date. Okay. Data type.
Still numeric.
Numeric. Data length.
Should be 4 digits.
4 digits. Okay. Business logic.
The data should be like It should validate the expiry.
Okay, you can put that in. That expiry date should not be in the past, right? Right? You should also be saying what is the format of the date that should be coming in. It's going to be in
Month and year.
MMIY,
MMYY. Yes, sir.
right? Okay. What's the next data element?
There is also like
By the way, the account,
the name,
what did we do? Did this,
account holder.
the expiry date mandatory?
Yes, sir.
Yes, mandatory. What's next?
And
CB number.
The what number?
card holder name.
Okay, you want to go card holder name? All right, card holder name. Data
Type will
type.
be alpha.
Well, it should be alpha. It should be actually a string because you may have dashes and stuff like people's name. You understand? You understand? There might be dashes in a person's name.
Yes, sir.
So you might have dash coming in, and if you just called it numeric, numeric will not support a dash, right?
Yes, sir.
So put it as a string. Data length. What do you think?
Maybe there should be a limit, I mean, for characters, but I'm not sure.
What's the maximum length do you think they can put on their name?
Maybe 1832 characters, maybe. I'm just guessing.
32. Okay, 32 is a good thing. 32
Characters.
characters won't print on a credit card, by the way, but you can put
Yes,
it
sir.
as name. He might enter it. It might not be on the credit card, but we always try to say, name as it appears on your credit card. You've seen that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right. All right. What's another element? By the way, is name mandatory or optional?
It's an optional.
This one
Sometimes
is optional
yes, sir. Sometimes it's required.
because we don't use it for processing. Other elements are used for processing the credit card payment, right? This one is not. What's next?
The security code behind the card.
Security code. Okay. CVV.
CVV, yes, sir.
Yep. All right. Data type.
Numeric,
Numeric. Data length.
3 digits.
Nope. It's 4. American Express takes
yeah.
4.
Okay.
So why do we set it for the maximum? Because you can fit 3 characters in a 4-character space, but you can't put 4 characters in a
3 space. Yeah.
3 space. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So if you were going out, let's say for the credit card type, and you were putting the full name of the credit card there, which name length are we going to use? American Express, right? Because American Express is the longest, right? AMERICKNEXPR. It's almost like good 15, 16 character long, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And there's one more element, which is what's the last element you may get as part of making a payment? When you make a credit card payment online, there's one more thing they ask you. What's
Security
that?
code?
Security code we did, CVV.
Oh. Zip code?
Zip code, correct. They ask you for the zip, right? Zip code, data type.
Numeric.
Nope. There are other countries than America in this world.
Okay, alphanumeric.
Alphanumeric. All right. And data length can be?
It should be depend upon country to country, maybe 8 character, 8.
Yeah, well, to be safe, we'll put it at 12.
Okay.
Right? Is it a mandatory field?
Yes.
Yes. because it is used as part of the validation. Just like the CVV is used as part of the validation, So when you are sending this data across to the credit card authorizers, right? You're going to be sending all of this information, right? Credit card type, credit card number, uh, expiry date, CVV, zip. What else are you going to send besides these elements to credit card authorizer? When you try to authorize the credit card payment, what else are you going to send to the credit card authorizer? Think.
Customer detail like address or no?
Why would you don't need the address to validate the card? Guys,
Expiration date.
huh?
Expiration date.
We said that already,
Oh,
right? We said you're gonna send the credit card number, you're gonna send the credit card type, you're gonna send the expiry date, you're gonna send the CVV, you're gonna send the zip. What else are you going to send?
The amount.
The amount. Of course, the amount. How else will it validate if you don't send him the damn amount of the transaction? But of course, the amount of the transaction will come from where?
From the order that he placed.
Placing the order, right?
Yes.
When the place order comes in, that will have the goods that he wants, right? And that will total up. Agreed?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, excuse me. So at the end of the day, right, we provide supporting documentation for the entities and their inputs and outputs, just like what we did, right? We create those data tables and we review the results with the customer to gain their consensus. And the diagram becomes something like this. Okay. So here you can clearly see you have multiple functions occurring, and you can see, like, for example, the customer is registering, the customer is placing an order, the customer is making a payment, right? Uh, our system is reaching out to the warehouse to get the goods availability, right? Warehouse is responding back with the goods availability. Then we are reaching out to the transportation system to find out the transportation availability, right? We are also reaching out to the credit card authorizers to check the credit card authority, right? And then the last thing we're going to do is provide a schedule back to the customer with probably the confirmation message, confirmation number from the credit card, as well as a tracking ID from the transportation, right? Everybody clear? What kind of diagram is this? What kind of diagram is this, guys?
Should be like a data flow
Or
interface entity relation.
entity relationship, interface, content, context. Okay, don't forget the name of the damn diagram. And what is the purpose of the diagram? To show the different entities that are interacting with each other, right? Their relationship or functions that are being performed between them, as well as the data which may be exchanged between the two entities or the different entities. Clear? Any questions on this diagram, guys?
So sorry, sir. Like I have a question. Like here we can provide the step. Like step one is this, step two is
No,
this. No.
this is not a process flow diagram.
Okay. Because it's just like everything is linking with each other.
That's why it's called an entity relationship, right?
Okay.
How many entities do you see in this diagram?
5 entities.
5 entities. Do you see the relationship between each entity?
Yes, sir.
So it's called an entity relationship diagram. If you provided the data underneath each entity, for example, we only did for making a payment, we didn't do it for any of these other ones, right?
Yes,
So you might have to go ahead and do the data analysis for each one of them, right? What is the underlying, because there's data associated to each of these functions, right?
yes, correct, yes.
Right? So we need to identify that. We'll be looking at process flow today, probably after we come back from break. That's where the actual flow, the steps of the process will be identified using a process flow diagram. That's coming up. All right, the last thing to talk about before we go on the break is the interface diagram. This is an actual interface diagram from one of my FRDs. This particular FRD was for EU fund transfer, European fund transfer. Okay. So in the EU fund transfer diagram, this is an interface diagram embedded into that FRD. How many entities do you see in this diagram?
Six.
6 entities, correct. Which one is mine? Which is my system?
AWS.
CWS. CWS, since it's in the middle, it stands for client website. This is the ultra high network website for the City Private Bank. Okay, CWS. And there are multiple interfaces being depicted in this particular diagram. For example, one of the interfaces here is CWS is interfacing with RSA. For what purpose?
Authentication.
For authentication. So you see, it shows the relationship between RSA and CWS, which is for authentication. We use RSA digital keys for our fund transfer. So of course, those digital key that comes in the token needs to be sent to RSA for validation. You understand? Clear? Give me another relationship, another interface you see in this diagram and the purpose of the interface. So say CWS is interfacing with
This is one source.
one
And
source in P1 for,
uh, verifying member account and transaction details.
no, don't say verifying. Don't use the word verify. Verify is for authentication, not for this.
Okay.
This is for getting your
Information
clients.
from
Correct.
information.
That's not verifying, right?
Okay. Yes.
Verify would mean that CWS is sending something. CWS doesn't
Okay.
send nothing. It gets the member, the account, and transaction details. Actually, CWS does send the member ID across, right? To one source. And using the member ID, one source sends the entire account and transaction details back to CWS for that guy. You got it?
Yes.
CWS is interfacing with team site for
Content.
content management, right? What is content management? Content management is basically, all the ads, all the advertisements, all the messaging and everything. That is all content that is being displayed on CWS. That all is coming from team site. So if tomorrow somebody wants to change a message or introduce a new language, supporting language, then team site will bring all of that information and CWS will be extracting it from team site. You understand?
Sir, sorry. Can you give the example, like what exactly this content message looks like? Or
Jose, just log into your banking website's homepage, login page. You see all that advertisement that's coming there?
just a second. Yes, sir. I saw that. Yes.
Ah, is it always the same information?
No, sometimes change.
You go. If that page information was embedded into your server, hard coded into the server, guess what? Every time you want to change that advertisement, you need to redeploy your application with the new images. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So to make sure you avoid that, we do what we call configuration management. Those values are configured. So it's like this. Example, you have an 8 by 10 frame. okay, in your house. Using that frame, you can simply swap a picture in and out, right? Yes? In a picture
Yes, sir.
frame, you can swap the picture out without changing the frame, correct?
Correct.
So tomorrow, if you want to remove that old 8 by 10 picture, you can simply get a new 8 by 10 and put it in, right?
Yes.
But can you take a 12 by 12 and put it into an 8 by 10 frame?
No.
No.
No, it will not fit, right? It will be cut up. So team site makes sure that the old picture and the new picture are the same sized. You understand? CWS just simply goes to team site and says, can you please give me the picture for frame number 1 and the picture for frame number 2 and the picture for frame number 3? Every time your page loads, this exchange is happening. You understand? So tomorrow, if I want to change the picture in frame 2, I will simply give the new picture of frame 2 to CWS, and CWS will simply paste it into the frame. They don't have to change the frame itself. You understand? You got it? Was there?
Yes, I got it.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's like having a billboard on the highway, right?
Yes, sir.
When you want to change the advertising on the billboard, do you put a brand new billboard up or do you simply put the new
Remove.
picture on the billboard?
Yes, and remove the picture.
Right. You just simply remove the picture, right? Not the
Yes.
billboard itself, right?
Yes, sir. Correct. Yes.
That
Understand.
is how content management works. You understand? So tomorrow, let's say on one of your error messages, the help desk number changed, right? If that help desk number was hard coded, I would have to do a full deployment of the application with the new number, right? But if that number was being pulled from team side, all team side needs to do is replace that in their side. And when I am displaying that error, I am asking team side, please give me message number 4, for instance. And they give me the new phone number in message 4. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. And the last interface here is between CWS and CSP to EBS. CSP stands for Client Servicing Platform. EBS is European Banking System. And this interface is for the actual fund transfer. So the transfers are being submitted from CWS to CSP. CSP is forwarding it to European Banking System. European Banking System is executing that, sending the transfer status back as, completed, pending, rejected, canceled, whatever, back to CSP, and CSP sends it back to CWS. You see it? If I wanted to add my client or customer as an entity, where do you think I would draw that box? Where would I draw the entity, customer entity or client entity box? Where would I do it?
It would be after CWS. In
No,
between.
no, no. I would put it underneath CWS
Okay.
with an arrow touching
CSP.
CWS. The client doesn't log into CSP, client logs into
TWS. Okay.
CWS, right? When
Yes.
the client is putting his token in, where is he submitting the token to?
To CWS.
Right. And then CWS sends it to
Runs of or
RSA,
RSA. Sorry, RSA.
right? When the client wants to see his accounts and his transactions, where is he seeing those transactions?
In CWS.
In CWS. But where is CWS getting it from?
It's from one source. Yes, correct.
From one source. When the client is submitting a transfer, where is he submitting that transfer to?
CSP.
No, submits it in
CWS.
CWS. CWS pushes it to CSP, CSP to EBS, EBS back to CSP, CSP to CWS. When the client is seeing the status, his transaction was completed, where is he seeing that status?
In one source side.
No, yaar, CWS.
Yes, in one the CWS. Yes.
What? Like when you log into your mobile app for your banking, are you logging into the database?
No, no.
Are you
Login
logging
to
into Zelle? No, you're logging into your mobile app, right? Your interface is the mobile app. Understood? All transactions occur between client and CWS. Right here also it's the same thing, right? Did the customer go to card authorizer? Huh?
No, no.
Did the customer go to TMS?
No.
Did the customer go to the warehouse?
No.
No, customer is only dealing with my application, right?
Yes,
I
correct.
have the back-end hooks into the warehouse system, into the transportation, into the credit card authorizers, right? When the customer was making a payment, who was he sending the information to? My system, right? I took that information and sent it to the credit card for authorizers along with the amount. Remember?
Yes, sir.
I didn't get the amount from the customer, right? I got the amount from the warehouse, depending on the goods that were available, right? If there were any items he wanted that were not available, would I charge him for that? No, right? All right. Any questions on this diagrams? We good?
Sir.
All
Yes.
right. So let's take a break. It's about 10:49 right now. Let's take a 15-minute break. All right. And then we're going to be looking at the process flow diagram. So far you've learned use case diagrams. You learned data flow slash entity relationship slash interface diagrams. And now you're going to learn the last one, which is process flow diagram. This depicts the process, the steps of the process, also known as an activity diagram, process flow diagram, or a flow chart. Has three names. Write them down. Process flow diagram, activity diagram, or flow chart. This one has three names also. Clear? All right. Let's take a 15-minute break. Let's be back by 11:05 and then we'll finish this. Okay? Any questions? Probably 2 more weekends, and we'll be done with the course, buddies. All right? You got 2 more weekends to go and you'll be done. Let's see you guys back in 15 minutes. Any questions for me at this time?
No, sir.
Sir, uh, could you repeat the diagram name?
Which one?
The process diagram and the second and
It's
third.
not process, it's process flow.
Oh,
Process flow diagram, activity diagram, flow chart.
flow chart.
Flow, FLOW, chart,
Okay, thank you.
shows the flow or shows the activities or the processes.
Thank you.
You got it. All right. I'll be back. I'm going to drop from this and I'll join back in 15 minutes. Okay.
Anybody there?
Hey guys, everybody back?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Probably gonna give you a little time back today. We're gonna stop at the end of session 5 today. So to start off, we'll go straight to the legend. Now, each of these symbols actually has a meaning. Okay. So each of these figures that you see actually has a meaning. For example, you see in the legends this rectangle with the curved corners on both sides right here. That represents a start and an end. All right. The rectangle with a curved bottom represents a document, input or output. The diamond represents a decision box. This pencil looking shape represents a display. The rectangle next to it, the solid rectangle, represents a process. And these two last shapes are like custom shapes. So this rectangle with the top slanted is a manual input. And the eclipse here, the oval, represents a connector. Okay. So unlike an eclipse, which in a use case diagram represented the use case, here it is representing a connector. All right. Each of these symbols has a specific meaning, which is universal for your business stakeholders, your business analysts, your technology folks, and everybody. Clear? Any questions on the legend? We good?
Yes.
All right. So now when you're walking anybody through a process flow diagram, remember, to make the process flow diagram, you had to have known the process, right? You can't create a process flow diagram if you don't know the process, right? So you got to know the process to create the process flow diagram. So whenever you're walking anybody through the process flow diagram, you always keep in context the one that is doing the action, the one that is doing the action. So either it can be a user or it can be the system. Everybody clear? So the process begins right on the top here by the user looking to do a fund transfer. So when he logs into the system, the first thing that the system will check is the user enrolled for the fund transfer function? Now this is a diamond, right? So out of any diamond, which is a decision box, at a minimum, you should have two lines coming out, right? It's a decision, can lead to a yes or a no, right? So in the event that the user has not enrolled for fund transfer, the system will display a marketing page to the user, informing him how he can go by signing up for fund transfer. And that pretty much ends the process. He can't proceed forward from there. Now, why did I do the no first and not the yes first? Why did I do the no first and not the yes?
To go back.
What do you mean to go back?
So that you have a display.
No, no. Why did I go down the no path first, Sayed, and not the yes? Because the
Page
no path
It's more direct.
is a shorter path and it ends. It does not continue. You understand? While the yes would continue. You understand? So to preserve the flow, I would do the no, the shorter path first, and then do the yes, which is a continuation. You got it? Everybody got that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So in the event that the user is enrolled for fund transfer, the system would again check, is the user accessing the fund transfer for the very first time, meaning he's a brand new user to the fund transfer function. So both of these diamonds are system checks, back to back. If the user is accessing the fund transfer for the very first time, the system would display the terms and conditions page to the user and would see, did the user accept the terms and conditions? If the user accepts the terms and conditions for the fund transfer, that information would be saved in the terms and conditions database. This cylinder represents a database. Clear? The cylinder is representing a database. And then the user would be displayed his debit accounts and his credit accounts. This is the same place the user would have landed if he was not accessing the fund transfer for the first time. Everybody clear how I bridged the gap? I went down the yes path, and then after completing the yes path, I bridged it with the no. Clear? By the way, on this page where the user is seeing his debit accounts and his credit accounts, he would also see any previously saved or scheduled transactions. They would be displayed on the same page on the bottom of the page in the table. All right. Now the user is going to go ahead and he's going to select his debit account and he's going to select his credit account. And then the system will check, is the user trying to make an internal transfer or is he trying to make a external transfer? If it happens to be an external transfer, it goes to connector B. If it happens to be an internal transfer, it goes to connector A. What's the difference between an internal transfer and an external transfer?
Uses outside
Internal.
servers.
Say that again.
An external transfer will use an outside server.
No, it's got nothing to do with servers.
It internal means like you're making a payment for a credit card, your own credit card. External means you're paying someone outside.
Not exactly. Internal transaction, and it varies from bank to bank. Some banks have different clarifications on the internal. The internal could be you transferring money from one of your accounts to another one of your accounts, meaning both accounts are owned by you. You understand? For example, moving money from your checking account to your saving accounts is classified as an internal transfer. Okay? Or say, moving money from your account to your mother's account where you are a joint holder, meaning that is a joint account between you and your mother, has to be the same bank. That would also be considered a internal transfer because you are an owner on both accounts. Understood? But if you happen to be sending money to another person, meaning to another account where you are not the owner, that is considered an external transfer. Some banks will even consider external transfers within the same bank, meaning, say Syed is transferring money to me. We both, Syed, what bank do you have?
Chase Bank.
Chase. So let's say I have a Chase account, Syed has a Chase account. So we are both members of Chase, right? And if Syed sends money to me, that would, some banks would consider that an external transfer because it is going to a different beneficiary, versus some banks would consider it an internal transfer. So you have to actually ask your business stakeholders their classification and definition of an internal transfer versus an external transfer. Everybody clear?
Yes.
But if the money's beneficiary is changing and the bank is changing, definitely external. No doubt about that one. Clear?
So what about the international transfer? Is it come under this or a separate?
What do you mean by international transfer?
I mean, like if you are making payments to foreign account, transferring funds to
Yeah,
foreign
the
account.
entity is different, right?
Yes.
Different bank,
Okay.
right? Swift transactions are all external,
Okay.
right? Even though, say, you were transferring money from your Citibank North America account to your Citibank India account, right?
Yeah, that's
They're both Citibank, but it's still considered an external because Citibank North America is a separate entity than Citibank India. The country laws and the jurisdiction laws are different for both. Understood? One is governed by India banking jurisdiction. One is covered by the North America's banking jurisdiction, right?
Right.
FDIC insures the North America branch. It doesn't insure the India branch. You understand?
Got it.
Same thing as if you were transferring money from your Citi North America account to Citi Switzerland account. Switzerland has totally separate banking jurisdictions, right? Okay. So now we come to the second page of this process flow diagram. The top one is connector B. That means this was a external transfer, right? So if there is a, so if it was an external transfer, the first thing the system will try to do is it will try to get the beneficiary and the bank and the beneficiary's bank details. The next thing, the user will get an option, would you like to save the beneficiary? So say if you're sending money to your mom, you want to save your mom as a future beneficiary, right? So if you decide to save that beneficiary, that information that you entered for the beneficiary bank details, beneficiary name, that would be saved in the beneficiary details table. If you click no, you don't want to save your beneficiary, it also gives you another option to save the transaction at this stage. So say maybe you don't know exactly, you forgot how much money you want to send to mom. You say, okay, you know what, let me come back. So you can click save, and if you click save, then this transaction would be saved in the transaction details table. Okay. But if you want to click and want to move forward, you would click continue,
Continue.
right? That's where the system will then take you to the next screen and would prompt you to enter the transfer amount, the currency, the date, the reason, right? This is the same page where you would have landed if you were doing a internal transfer. Because for the internal transfer, you don't have to worry about the beneficiary, right? You yourself are the beneficiary. Everybody clear? Again, on this screen, you have two options. You have a save option and you have a continue option, meaning you can save the transaction at this stage and not submit it, or you can click continue. If you click continue, the system will now display the attestation transfer information to the user. Basically, your terms and conditions will be displayed to you again. And you go to connector C. Everybody clear? All right. Now we come here to connector C, right? And in connector C, this is where it gave you the last chance to save your transaction. You can click yes, you can save it, or you can click the submit button to start the execution. If the user clicks save, then of course the transaction is saved into the save table. If you click submit, now the system will verify, is this a external transaction? Let's say it's not an external transaction, it happens to be an internal transaction. If it happens to be an internal transaction, the system will then validate, is the cross currency over $200 million? This is the private bank, guys. So we allow our users to make transactions up to 200 million. So if the transaction, let's say, is above 200 million, then the system will display a message to the user, please contact your banker, because we are not allowed to, you know, we have a limit of 200 million. But if the transaction is not over 200 million, that transaction will be saved into the transaction details table for execution. Coming back, let's say it was an external transfer, meaning money is going from your account to someone else's account. Well, in this case, the system will be doing a RSA authentication on the user, meaning we will prompt you to enter your token. If the RSA authentication is unsuccessful, meaning the token you entered is not valid, well, guess what? You're not allowed to move forward. That pretty much ends the process. But if the RSA authentication was successful, then that transaction would also be saved into the transaction details table to execute. And that ends the process. Any questions on the process flow diagram? So of course, to make the process flow diagram, you would have had to know the exact process, right? For example, how many of you know how to change your tire?
Yes, sir. I know.
You know. So if I told you to put together a process flow diagram, would you be able to create a process flow diagram?
Yes, sir.
right? But because you know the process, right? If I told you put a process flow diagram for submitting the COVID-19 Pfizer drug validation to the FDA for approval, can you create a process flow diagram for that?
No, I need more detail, more
No,
information.
we need tons of more information. So, process flow diagrams are a visual representation of the requirements that you have learned and picked up by talking to the SMEs. Everybody clear?
Yes.
Any questions on this diagram? Your final homework assignment, which you will be getting next week and will be due the following week, will be on putting together the process flow diagram, the use case diagram, and writing a use case. This is the similar assessment that will also happen when you get to the final stage. Okay? So you guys better be paying attention to this. If you had questions, you better go back and revisit the videos, revisit the sessions and everything. All right?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Regarding like if at some stage a user wants to add some more function, so where do we like if we made all the flow chart, how do we add or accommodate all those things?
So if the process changes, you have to go and change the process flow diagram, buddy.
Okay, we can't like just make another.
No, no, no. You would take the one. See, look, first of all, if there is a change in the process, that has to come as a change request, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, it could be that you are still gathering the requirements and you get more and more validations and other things. You got to keep updating your document, right?
Yes, sir.
The change request will not come until unless you have signed off on the document, right? Remember, change request only comes after the document has been signed off, meaning it's a change to the approved requirements, right? But if you are still gathering your requirements, it's like, think of this as you're in a shopping mall, right?
Yes, sir.
You are still shopping, right? You can pick up this pant, you can put that pant, you can pick up this shirt, you can put that shirt, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you haven't checked out
Purchase it.
yet,
Yes.
right? But once you get into the line and you pay for those items, can you simply go back and put that shirt back and grab a different shirt?
No.
No, you can't, right? Now you have to go and stand in the customer service line, right? And get the new shirt, take the old shirt, and the cashier at the customer service will do an impact analysis, right? He will
Yes, sir.
see what is the cost of the old one, what is the cost of the new one, you know, and he will either ask you for more money or he will give you back some money, right?
Yes, sir.
After he has done the impact analysis. And after he does the impact analysis, he may tell you, well, this new shirt, is going to cost you $20. And you open your wallet and you see you only got $10. So now you need to do a feasibility study. Is it feasible to buy this shirt? You understand?
Yes, sir. Or maybe a refund. Yeah.
Or, just simply get refunded for that one because that shirt you picked up, which was on sale, right?
Yes, sir.
So even though the actual price was $40, but since you bought it on sale, you paid only 20. And the other shirt happens to be regular priced, which is 50. So you were thinking, oh, I have to only pay $20 more, but it winds up you have to pay 30 more. You know,
Yes, sir.
I got it?
Yes,
That
sir.
is
Got
all
it.
impact analysis and feasibility analysis. But that is only happening after you've paid for the first item and checked out, right? Because once you pay and you check out, it's signed off. It's yours. You
Got it.
understand?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now you simply can't go and put that shirt back and grab another one and walk out of the store. Somebody's going to tackle you. Everybody clear?
Yes, sir. So we will do feasibility analysis in design phase at the time of like we are
Whenever you get the changes, right?
okay.
Whenever you get the changes, remember, after the BRD is signed off, you might get a brand new requirement, KBR, a new KBR.
Okay.
Then you'll have to start doing the impact analysis on that, right?
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Right? You had 10 kbrs. Now you got an 11th one. You have to figure out, how is this 11th one impacting your thing, right? Originally, you built a house. Now the guy says, by the way, I would like, Rolls Royce also with the house. That happens to be requirement number 11. You think you can just give him the Rolls Royce for the same price as the house?
No, okay, definitely not.
Sure.
No way.
All right. Thank God he didn't ask for a helicopter in the back. But before the helicopter, I need a helicopter helo pad also, okay? Just not the helicopter, okay?
Landing pad, yeah.
A landing pad, right? so that's requirement 11, and requirement 12 will be the helicopter with the pad.
Maybe a government permission to
Yes,
land the.
exactly. Everybody clear? Any questions, guys? All right. So that completes your full first session. All these documents are done. You have these now. Soon, meaning next week, I'm going to be going ahead and I'm going to be giving you the next set with the final homework assignment. So as I said, the final homework assignment, is this one right here, right? Let's open one of these. Right, so this is the final homework assignment, right? You will have to create a use case diagram, a process flow diagram, and write the textual use cases, okay? And you will also be getting these slides, which is slide 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these, all 4 of these slides, 5 of these slides, we will finish it in 1 week. They're really small slides, they're not long. And we'll assign you your final homework assignment next week. All right?
Sir, the question, like the assignment will be based on like you're giving something instruction
Yes,
to.
I will be giving you the homework assignment. It will be to write a use case. You're going to use the sample use case document next week. Okay? And you'll need to fill this out depending on the use case that is assigned to you.
Got it.
All right? That's coming next week. So next week, we'll wrap everything up. You'll get your final homework assignment. We'll have a look at some of the homework assignments that you submit, and we will go ahead and look at the homework assignments also. Get those homework assignments in, guys. Come on. All right. Was that a good job on the homework assignment? You're doing a good job detailing things. Keep it up. All right. The
Thank
more
you.
details you provide, the better it is. Right. The less questions they'll come asking you. Clear? Any questions for me, guys?
You said this email that we're looking at, you'll give next week?
Next week. Yeah, because this will come when I assign you the homework assignments. These are the assignments up here, right? So this you will get when I give them to you next week, because you'll be getting 1 use case to do. Okay?
Correct, okay.
Now I have to assign you each individual ones,
Oh, I see, okay.
right? Because this is the homework assignment. These are the different use cases you're going to be working on. That's going to all come tomorrow. I mean, next week. Next week, by the way, I'm going to be in California. I'm going to be taking this class at 6 in the morning.
No way, oh man.
Yeah. I'm going to be in California next week. So it's going to be interesting. All right. Got to make sure I don't forget my laptop. I'm going to be on the road. All right. We'll see you next week. All right.
Okay.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Have a good
Thank you,
weekend.
sir.
Thank you. Bye.